Come straight onto our Skype line now and welcome the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Mr. Nathi Mthethwa, back to News at Prime this evening. Mr. Minister, thank you very much for your time tonight. We appreciate it, as always, having you on the show this evening. Now, you met with the adjudication team today. It has been a big day for you and your department with regards to this relief fund. Speak to us about how today's events went.
Well, they indicated to us that they are through with adjudication of the first batch, which is 323 people. So they are going to be giving us in the morning the final report for sign off, and they will take it from there. Now, our quite clear the funded people from sport, they may start expecting to get funds repaid as early as next week.
So, Mr. Mthethwa, that was one of the questions I wanted to ask you. I know that the timeline was certainly a very hot topic here. So please just reiterate for us then, no payments have been made just yet. When can anyone, whether it be the athletes or performers, expect some form of payment?
There are two panels. There is one for arts and culture, which has been finalized today. That's a bigger one in terms of size and number, because the bigger chunk of applications come from arts and culture. So the numbers for sport and recreation are much lower than the arts and culture, and therefore 2 days ago already the team started working. As I say, they are through with the first batch, which is 323, and they would be able to, from there, those they given a go-ahead will start be getting their funds.
Minister, help me out here, and please correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that 200 of the 6,000 applications come from the sporting field. Can you perhaps explain to us why you feel that this is the case? Is it that the Arts and Culture Department is harder hit, or perhaps that sports people just haven't followed up on the opportunity to get in on this relief fund?
Well, yes, that's the initial indication of about, as I said, today is the batch of 300 plus. They are still working on another batch, which is not very big. We still have to check why is it that it's more from arts and culture applications we bought. But that's what we have at the moment, yeah.
Now, I know when you and I spoke earlier on this week, Mr. Minister, we spoke about how 150 million agreeably was not going to be enough. We have no idea how long the outbreak of coronavirus is going to last. I know it's still very early days, so please excuse the question, but is there any talk of perhaps more money being made available above the 150 million rand mark?
As I discussed with you the other day, that firstly, this pandemic attacked us, South Africans, as well as the world, unexpectedly. So it got into a situation where everybody is involved. Government alone cannot have enough resources to deal with the pandemic itself. But we'll do as much as we can. As I said to you, that whatever budget, whatever programs were budgeted for this year, especially this first quarter, we decided that we need to avail these funds to both the athletes and artists.
Mr. Minister, before I let you go, one final question. There has been some discussion earlier on today that there will be an ease of the restrictions as the outbreak of coronavirus continues. Does that ease suggest that maybe some sporting events may return behind closed doors in the near future?
Anything is possible, Mark. It's early days, though, because there are certain areas and sectors of the economy which are going to be taking the lead. Mining is one of them, for instance. As you know, that it forms a very big part and the backbone of the economy of this country. And we will see as we go, because it's the phasing in process from government, as it were.
Well, we look forward.
What is important, though, is how are we, faring, so to speak, in terms of the pandemic itself. And I think at this point we're emphasizing more of the state where we are, which is lockdown. If we ease that, it should be phased in over a period of time.
Mr. Minister, thank you for your time as always. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for being a part of News at Prime. We look forward to catching up with you a lot more with regards to this conversation. 150 million rand being made available to the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture. Just 200 applicants out of 6,000 coming from the Sports Department for now. We'll have to wait and see how that number grows. As we said, this conversation, of course, will continue to run throughout the rest of lockdown, and some arguably will say for many months that follow.